Hello everyone! Welcome to The Ghost in the Machine, a D&D live play show about memory, identity, magic, and politics. I'm your host and dungeon master, Matthew Foreman. We are joined by our lovely players as usual. We'll get to them in a moment. So before I start off, let's just get through a few announcements. Sorry, I gotta get away from chat. They're being funny, sorry. Okay. We have a few announcements. On July 4th, we will be starting a special stream at 2 p.m. that will lead into our regular stream time at 7 p.m. Central. We will have interviews and we'll be interacting with chat. We'll be showing you some things and bringing you content from 2 p.m. leading up to our regular stream time at 7 p.m. At which point episode 4 will take place. Be sure to follow all of our socials, our Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat even, we're on there. We post content to YouTube, and we keep you informed and keep you up to date on what's going on. As always, remember our friends at Animal Helper. It is a 501c30 located in New Orleans that helps special needs animals. You can find out more below by going down below our stream there and clicking on the Animal Helper charity button. So, when we last... Sorry, I kind of forgot I was on camera there for a second. Getting into it. When we last left our heroes, they had arrived at the Glide, at Bridgeton, met with Gilly's parents, did some shopping, met the mistress of the Miss Naz, met an interesting shopkeeper named Grelda, had some interesting conversations, and went to a dinner that was awkward, to say the very least. And wherein Gilly's parents and Morgan, the international pop star and friend of the party, kind of almost came to blows. Morgan fled, and through a conversation that Gilly had with her parents, it was brought about that Gilly, who was made by magic, that magic was brought about by some form of a contract. That in order to create Gilly, that they had signed a deal and that Morgan was somehow involved. We don't know the details yet, and hopefully we'll find those out today. But insofar, the party broke into the carriage house where her lawyer, Uncle Ronan, usually stays, and found the contract, and that is where we left off, with the contract in Gilly's hands and her trying to make sense of it, incapable of reading it at this current time, and seeing a signature that she recognized because of its short name, JJ. JJ is the lawyer that the party has only briefly met, no one knows anything about him, that is connected to an organization known as the Heathens Collective, which is a political, potentially terroristic organization or revolutionary organization that wants to see the elves restored. And that is where we will start. So, you guys stand in the carriage house, and we're trying to look over this ancient script, this contract, and you're not sure what to make sense of it. It seems to be it seems to be foiling the comprehend language spell that you cast on yourself, and it seems to be written in a form of Elvish, but the contract seems to be magically protected against deciphering it like this.
Okay, I'm going to make sure all the other papers are covered and shut the desk. I took like a rubbing of it, or I made a copy of it.
You took a charcoal copy. Yeah.
Charcoal copy?
So okay. Are you you're putting the contract back in the desk? Or are you keeping the contract with you? It sounded like everything but the contract.
I'm gonna take the copy I made, leave the contract there, and just kind of shut the desk for now, so that the papers can't be read over my shoulder or anything like that. And so
that was a specifically blue color.
Yeah. So I guess this contract, this paper is a contract. I can't read it. I'll get to that in a minute, but from what I can understand, based on the conversation I just had with me mom and me ma, and what's been going on between them and Morgan, which apparently they can't tell me anything about, but they won't stop me from trying to find out.
Well,
I think this contract has something to do with how I was born or made. And it seems pretty bad that my parents have never been that upset about anything. I've never seen anything like that. So I'm a little shaken at the moment. Thank you for helping me get in here. I just hand Civilius the contract. Can you read any of this?
I can certainly try. So
The copy that I made of the contract.
yeah, so take it and I'll look over it. Does it seem? Can I read it at all? You mentioned Elvish, so
Yeah.
Or
So
can I read the copy either? Because I had comprehend languages on.
right, I understand. It is still
That's fine.
incomprehensible.
That's fine.
So, as you touch this old, thick piece, it's almost like it's not a piece of paper so much as like it seems to be like a dried ancient piece of wood that has been like flattened and thinned out and carved and etched into with some kind of writing. So as you grab onto it and attempt to read, you are capable of reading it. You hear this kind of gentle whisper in Elvish. This. Go ahead and roll. So you are capable of reading it. However, you're not a lawyer, although you are very intelligent. So go ahead and roll intelligence plus proficiency on a d20 to attempt to understand what the contract is saying.
Would it be reasonable to cast guidance on him?
Yes.
Guidance.
So what is that? A
D4.
While they're doing this, I'm keeping an ear out for them. I'm walking the circular of the room and checking the windows without like passing in front of them.
Yeah. Roll perception.
That's previously.
25.
I'm sorry.
25. There's no one out there.
Nothing weird.
Nothing weird.
I don't know how concerned I would be. You can keep watch for whatever, but I don't think we're going to be interrupted or anything. My parents, I basically have their blessing to go figure things out for myself. They can't tell me anything.
Do the guards here know that?
I mean, I'm allowed.
She's family. She
Places.
can go pretty much wherever she wants.
I live here. I'm going to inherit it, so
13.
13. It's difficult to say. However, you do eke out that this is what's known as the title of the contract essentially is what's known as a 3 lives contract.
Huh.
And that's what you know.
Okay. So I'll relay that to the group. So this contract looks like the title of it's 3 lives. That's as much as I can make out right now. I mean, I might be able to study it more later to try to decipher it. It's we're not in ideal conditions to
Right.
sit down and study
And then
in dim light.
does this copy, is this also the same information as, I just want to make sure if I leave
can
the
I compare
contract
the
here
two?
and I take the copy
You
with.
can read the copy.
Okay, perfect. And it seems to all line up and everything.
Same language. It's just you're like it's also like so this language is basically Old Elvish, the language that you brought in from the land of the summer forever. It's language that you were taught, but it's fallen out of use. So it's not only difficult to read even for you, but it's incredibly esoteric in its structure. So
Got it. Do I recognize any of the other signatures on it? As like old Elvish people or people I knew?
No.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Yes, I
So,
can. So they're the
Wonderful.
same.
So I'll leave the contract itself, and we'll just take the copy. Make sure the desk is closed. I can't lock it or anything, but I'm going to let my parents know when I get back to lock everything back up tight. And
Could you relock it?
I could physically relock it, but
they're going to have to restore the wards and everything. So
Yeah, they'll notice the wards are broken pretty much immediately, I'm sure. But
So Gilly, you said something that I found curious. You said when I was born or made. What did you mean by that?
well, you've seen that I have a mom and another.
Yes, that was quite confusing.
Yeah, well, in this world, there's magics that can help people conceive, even though you may not be biologically inclined to conceive in that manner. But I never really knew the details of how I was born or created, but my mom always told me that I was made from scratch, that she made me from scratch, and that I had a bit of both of them in me. So I never really questioned that, because growing up learning about magic, I mean, spells like alter self exist, so I mean, it's not unheard of to be biologically part of both parents that are same gender, same sex. So while it's not the most common, I just figured, you know, my mom is a very powerful wizard, so I figured that was just it. But I never really thought that there was more to it than that. But apparently there's quite a bit more to it than that, and I don't really understand all of it yet. But that would explain a bit of why I turned blue, I suppose. I don't fully understand all the details as to why, but
It help explains Midgar Lang's comments.
telling me that I was from the Cold Unending.
Yeah.
That was a bit weird. I just thought that he didn't know what in the world he was talking about. But I'm starting to think more and more that he knew more
He
than
seemed
I
like a
thought.
person that
He
knows
traveled
exactly what he's talking
200
about.
years
Yeah.
into our past to rescue us from ourselves. That we had asked him to, well, not us, but Sorvelius had
Future
asked him
us.
to do.
Apparently, yes, that all gets a bit weird and gives you a bit of an ache in the brain. But
He says, well,
thinking about all those
We
time
won't-
travel details, but
we won't even go there.
Yeah.
But he's a man that appears to know what he's about.
right. So the
Would it be possible that the rest of your siblings were made in a similar way?
they were adopted as war orphans. I mean, most of them were war orphans.
Are you
I
the
think
only
all of them were
one?
war orphans. I'm the only biological child.
I know you're the oldest, right?
I am, as far as I'm aware, from everything I've been told. So,
Your mothers love you.
oh,
There's no doubt about that.
thank you. I mean, I'm well aware, but it's nice to know that other people can see that too.
So what is our course of action? Should we...
I think we need to find out what this contract says and what it
Yes.
means. And I don't know. It looks like JJ was involved. I mean, the signature is JJ. I don't know anyone else. It just seems too much of a coincidence to not be JJ.
Yes, it does seem like quite a bit of a coincidence. If we do meet him, we will.
Especially with Morgan being so fascinated with you. The attention, I'm sure, was lovely, but she's ridiculously fascinated with you compared to anyone else.
JJ was also on the train here, so he is in town as far as we know.
Yes. Based on my parents' reactions, I don't know who I can really trust with anything at the moment.
Do you trust us?
Well, I mean, I'm only still here because, you know, the three of you
Thank you.
have kept me alive. I mean,
And you us.
yeah. So, if I can't, at least, at the very least, I can say that I can trust you at least with my life. So that's quite a bit there, I'd say.
I think we should go back to one of our rooms,
Yes.
form ourselves a tiny hut, have a bit of a conversation before we go and sort stuff out for ourselves.
You do understand though why I wasn't keen on letting anyone look through my uncle's desk though. I mean, that's my family's personal business that doesn't have maybe anything to do with this contract. So
Absolutely. Yes, well, best course of action would be to head back to the room, study this more, find out what it says, and then we can figure out what course of action to take based on that.
I concur.
With more time and good lighting, I should be able to decipher it. It's been a while since I've spoke in the old Elvish tongue.
Sure. Okay.
Before we leave, I'm gonna do one more lab.
Thank you again for helping me get in here and to
I think
help me figure this out.
I think the ledger will be evened if we stick around each other long enough. We all have backgrounds and places to go,
And different skills.
which will be helpful to all of us, I'm sure.
Okay. Well,
Shall we depart?
sure.
I'm going to make sure we don't trigger anything on the way back out,
Okay.
and continue flying just a centimeter above the ground.
Yeah. You guys get the sense that like if the magic is relatively intelligent, that like you're here with Gilly, you guys aren't like burning down the house or anything. You're here with her. The magic little defenses understand teenage angst. And, yeah, I know she's not a teenager, but you know what I mean? Like breaking in, now, however, if one of you were to attempt to break in by yourself, then you'd probably be in some trouble.
Got it. But we had Gilly's permission.
We already put down that I'm the most paranoid player in the group, so
Yeah.
it's all good.
Okay. So we
Back
head
to
back out, and I'm just going to let my mom know on my way up that she should block back up.
Should your copy not be in the same room with her in case she is bound in some way to destroy it? If she sees it?
What?
So if you go
copy.
talk to your mom and the copy's on your person, if she knows of it or finds out,
The copy of the contract?
yes. Should I take it and then head straight up to the room and wait for you?
Sure, I don't know that that's necessary, but it's not an unreasonable
any
precaution, I
precautions,
suppose.
Yeah, we should take. I mean,
Sure.
yeah.
People who are bound
Okay.
to contracts one way or the other.
Those contracts are very tricky business. And this one had 2 lawyers, one on each side. So,
One must be very careful when entering into a contract, of course.
particularly with,
True.
especially with different entities. I mean,
It would be a fool's errand to do it blindly.
would. Anyway, okay, so I'll stop off and we'll reconvene. Whose room should we meet in? Do you want to meet in mine? Probably.
Well, why don't the three
Or
of us
yours?
go back to their own rooms?
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone is watching us, you have little girls in front of your room, Sevelius, whatever is going on.
Yes.
We don't arouse suspicion
That
or
does
wake
make
anyone
sense.
else.
Truly is quite taken with you.
She is.
We can use the
Our
joint balcony.
balconies
Yeah.
are
Yes.
joined. So
That's true.
we can sneak into any of the 3 rooms. Sevelius is in the middle, of course, so.
Okay,
We will reconvene in Sevilius's.
I'll meet you there then.
Rocky.
So I head over just to pop in and mention to me mom.
Sorry. So you were going over to your mother, and the rest of you are returning to your rooms. Is that the
Yes.
plan?
Correct.
Oh, sorry.
And I have the copy on me right now.
You have the copy of the original contract.
Yes.
He does, yeah.
Who has the original contract?
It's
in the
desk.
Okay, and you have the copy.
Yes.
So you return to your mothers, who are still in this study, Mafonway's study.
They still arguing?
They seem to be sitting there,
Okay.
across the desk from each other, talking. Come in.
Hi mom. Hi ma. Mom, I'm sure you're probably already aware that some of your wards are down.
I assume they would be.
Might want to walk back up.
I'll get to it.
Physical and magical.
I know my defenses.
Just making sure that you knew what needed doing, that's all. Okay, well, if there's nothing else before I say goodnight.
If you found anything, out.
Should I tell you if I have?
No harm in you telling us anything, honey.
I have found something.
Go ahead.
Found a very old seemingly very old piece of paper. A contract of sorts.
Yes.
I mean, you can't tell me anything about it, so what's the point in me telling you what I found?
Didn't know if
Just so you know, or I mean, that's fine with me. But
if you know, then we can talk about it.
I know there's a contract of 3 lives.
Aye. And do you know what that means?
Not as of yet, but I have an idea. I don't know if I'm in the right ballpark or not, but
Just go seek someone who knows about these kind of things.
I'm assuming that since Uncle Ronan's name is on this contract, he can't talk about it either.
Not to you.
Of course. Makes sense.
But there are other people on that contract who can.
The other side can. You can't tell me who the other signature is that I don't recognize.
No.
Okay. Can I trust the other party to speak honestly about the contract? If you can't answer it, don't answer it. It's fine.
I don't know.
That's
Suppose if you're traveling with Silvelius, there's no harm in trying.
Okay.
That's got to count for something with those people.
That makes sense. Do you think I can trust Sevilius?
Yes, I do. I've never heard nothing about him. Even in all of our dealings. In fact, all the right people hate his guts, and all the wrong people all the right people hate his guts who you want. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. The wrong people don't like him, and the right people do.
Yeah.
Or some and such. Okay.
Come back when you know stuff, we can talk about it.
Okay.
Hey.
Mom.
Ah.
Ma. We'll figure it out. Whatever it was, we'll figure it out.
I'm sure you will.
No, I mean, the 3 of us. We'll be okay. We'll figure it out.
Good night, Gilly.
Good night. I head up to Sevilius.
While she's off and I'm alone in my room,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask Mrs. Kilgast. Mrs. Kilgast, are you there?
Yes.
Do you know anything about a contract of 3 lives?
Yes, I do.
Do you care to educate me?
That goes far beyond our arrangement. Especially considering who's involved.
Oh. Do you know who is involved in this contract?
I do.
Are we getting ourselves into a dangerous situation?
No more dangerous than things you've already done.
Well, that's good at least.
You killed Lord Stilltower. What's bigger than that?
Mr. Finkelstein?
Fair point.
Well, is there anything that you can tell me, or do we need to...
Oh, I could tell you a great deal. But you're going to have to give me a little more.
I got you into the tower. What else do you need?
That was incidental. That served us both. If you want more help, you're going to have to give me something.
Like what?
Up to you. What you got to give me?
I'm a simple warforged. I have not much to give.
Then you're not getting any extra information.
Is there something that you want?
I want many things. Whether or not you're in the position to give me them is another story entirely.
You said you want to explore the world.
I'm doing that with you. That was part of our agreement.
Are there any destinations which you would prefer to go?
No. I have no care where we go.
Well, the elf is resourceful. We'll see what he can figure out.
In
In the meantime, if you have anything that you desire you think that we could trade, let me know.
I'll keep an eye out.
Thank you.
Bloodborne.
What was that?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Just,
Play more.
just metagame coughs. That's all.
Yeah.
Bloodborne.
So, and then before I go and join them, I'm going to have a similar conversation, but with my mantle.
Okay.
Everyone talking.
Everyone having their little...
Civilians, what you got?
Civilians asks the gem.
The gem's gone.
Anyway,
Oh, that's
Give it to
right.
Justice.
So I'm going to sit down
Yeah.
kind of cross-legged in the middle of the room, meditate myself into talking to Eurysadril.
yeah. Yes. How can I help you?
How's waking up treating you?
I grow less sleepy and more wakeful every day.
Can you hear and see everything I hear and see?
Yes, I observe the world through your senses, Selena.
That's all. Awesome and awkward all at the same time.
Couldn't pick a word, huh?
Magic is so cool.
Makes alone
Goodbye,
time a little bit
privacy.
more awkward.
Yes, it does.
Oh, yes, darling. Right there.
Oh my god.
Makes Selena a little less prude and a little more adventurous, all things
Oh, okay
Oh.
then. Look at that.
Wonderful smiles.
considered. So, you had instructions the other night.
I did. Well, more like information.
Okay.
One of my brood is her change is almost upon her.
And, Vosira.
Visora.
Visora. No, I wrote it right. Visora, do you know what part of the world she's in?
She is not far from where you stand now. Relatively speaking.
Okay.
She is in the Glides. She is northwest of Bridgeton in a cave. Behind a waterfall, as all good dragons must reside.
Could she possibly be flaunting herself as a silver dragon currently?
No.
Or
Selena, you do not trust people. You think so cunningly. No, Tassadris is not one of my brood.
That's what I thought. But she's housing one. Knowingly or unwittingly.
No, well, no, the mist obscured her senses. Tassadris. Perhaps I should not speak ill of the living.
I hear she doesn't like visitors anyway, so...
She is a cowardly and lonesome dragon. That is all. Visora is in a cave in Fallow Glen Holler.
Got it.
That is all.
Okay. That is closer than I imagined.
Yes. Green dragons can be anywhere. We are master deceivers. We blend in with society much better than the others do.
So many questions. But I actually not only came to speak of this, but I also want to potentially share with my companions your existence. Would that be okay with you?
Of course, Selena, that is entirely up to you. I have no issue people knowing that I'm back in the world.
Okay. I think I can trust them.
In fact, I would welcome the spread of my name again.
Not sure how I feel about her being so.
Go about it.
Yeah. Then, I'm assuming Identify would work on you, right?
It would reveal my dormant properties, yes.
Okay.
However, there are stages to to my soul existing in this artifact, this cloak.
I was thinking more of proving that I'm not crazy and I just talk to myself
Oh,
sometimes.
yes, identify, and I can welcome them if you would. If I would know when they go to do it, and I would welcome Sovelius or any of them.
Yeah, mostly Sovelius. Sovelius. I want. So to wrap this up, I think you'll get to meet them sooner rather than later, provided the chance arises. And I trust your judgment so far as your own brood, but I'd want to meet her, knowing green dragons are deceivers, before taking a life I know nothing about.
It would be hard to acquire any information. You may get to know her if you wish, but know that she is a vicious creature.
Then, if she's as vicious as you say, I'm sure it'll be not necessarily easy, but not difficult to recognize.
Might I say, the longer you take to act, the more powerful she becomes. Once her change is complete, she will become a full-fledged adult dragon. So time yourself carefully. If it takes you too long to gather your forces to speak with her or take her on, then you should wait longer and come back to it later.
Got it.
All things in the fullness of time,
As it should be.
as it should be.
Thank you.
You are most welcome. Good luck. And your cloak, which is like, which resides, wherein the soul of your Eurysadril, the slumbering goddess, resides. The soul of her, the ancient green dragon, goes dormant.
So she's like fluffy and buzzing.
When
I'm
she
talking
speaks
to
to you, yeah.
Oh, I didn't
when you're
realize
alone. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, ooh, I could have created some awkward instances.
She experiences your senses, and she vibrates.
So this is nighttime. You've all returned to your rooms, respective rooms, right? And you're all more or less settling down for the night.
No, I was heading straight to Sibelius.
Yeah,
I'm
we're all
sorry.
going to gather to try to read the contract.
I
again.
apologize. Go
If I
ahead.
can make another attempt
You
in a well-lighted area, or would I need to wait?
You gather this sense, so that's more of a check. So basically what that check does for us is how much of a lawyer is Sovelius, rather than like deciding that. So it's like, do you know what I mean? Like you can try, you can try
Can I-
again, but
can I
you don't have
assist?
any more. No, you don't have any more resources. You took time sitting there and doing it. You need more
Okay.
resources, either books from the Spire or
Got it.
another pair of eyes.
All right.
Yeah. So no,
Fair
you
enough.
can no try again yet.
Got it.
And I can't help because I can't read it, even though he could like translate it out loud or something.
I mean, you can try. The DC is going to be higher. If you'd like to try, yes, go ahead. It's going to take time.
I can imagine it'd
what
be like
else are we
somebody
gonna
trying
do?
to read you a contract
Right,
in
but,
legalese.
True.
Right.
Gilly's
And
a
if
little
you're not
focused at the
familiar with
moment,
it, or
so.
if we're not in the Spire, like if we wanted to, we could go to
Right.
the Spire. Or
But for now, I'm just gonna head back over to Sibelius.
Okay.
Because that's what we planned on doing.
Of course.
It's fine.
so I'll. They walk in. They find me studying. I still can't make heads or tails of this. It's too complicated.
Could you translate it for me?
I could
Thank you.
definitely try. I can dictate it to you, but
Okay.
it's very complex. It's a very complicated contract.
Well, should I make the hut like we talked about?
You were comfortable with your family, but I've been traveling so long that
I can make the hut. I mean, if it
I
makes you
had
feel better.
snared my doorways last night, and
With the hut.
You did. You said snares. Oh man. Oh my goodness.
I don't know what's coming through the windows. You're
Air.
That's.
no,
fair,
because they
I
were
suppose.
shut.
I mean,
Locked.
Would the hut protect us against any form of eavesdropping?
it should. I mean, it depends on how powerful the magics are, but it should.
And I'll let
As
you
far
take
as I
whatever
understand.
precautions that you wish.
I'll just go ahead and start casting the hut.
When
ritual.
Justice enters the room before the conversation starts, I always try to like do it as stealthily as possible because I just want to be like Batman and just be there.
Go ahead and roll stealth.
Yes. That is a 17.
Passive perceptions. I
Oh,
believe Gilly's is 16 or Selena's.
Mine's 13.
Gilly's or Selena's.
16.
He appears roughly at it, like you. Yeah, he's like, oh, Jesus.
From nowhere.
So
Okay, could you not sneak about my parents' house like that when I'm already on edge?
Gilly, go ahead and roll intelligence plus proficiency.
So did you announce what you were doing before I left? Or before I showed up or after I showed up?
I mean, we're doing it right now.
I think we're
Yeah,
all together.
doing it together.
I'm dictating it out loud so that everyone can hear.
Would you like to enhance your ability and can you guide yourself?
I can cast guidance on myself.
So
You'd like to enhance because I can't concentrate on both spells at the same time.
no, but I can enhance ability you and give you Fox's cunning, so you have an advantage on intelligence checks,
Oh, thank you.
plus your guidance of a +4. Maybe
Okay. Maybe I don't need the inspiration, but I'm gonna use it anyway. This matters. Oh. It's not terrible, but it's not great. 1 second. 26. 33.
33? Did you do a straight roll or did you roll with advantage?
I rolled with
Oh,
advantage because of
Enhance
Fox's
ability.
cunning.
That works. 33. Well, all right.
And then I
Nice.
used my D8 inspiration, so
Holy
Nice.
shit. So,
from my DM's inspiration.
so. Just as a metagame thing, anytime we don't have to ask JJ for help, I'm for it.
Same.
Yeah.
Anytime I don't have to go and
I should have used my D12 inspiration.
you are
Oh,
not
God.
you are not a lawyer. However, with the help of magic, and you are sitting over reading over here, and you remember your first year at the Order of the Lilac Rose, the college in the flying city of Antonia, and it brings the most powerful memory. You remember that there was some kind of clerical error when you were registering for classes and doing that whole thing at your college, and you got dropped out of a class that you really wanted to take, and you ended up taking a class on basically a class about fae music and hags. And it was by the absolute... You never had that class on your radar before, and you ended up being in that class due to a clerical error your first year. So, this is a 3 lives contract. 1 life created, 1 life reincarnated, and 1 life forfeited. The contract had some interesting languages and clauses. In exchange for Mafanwe's transmuter stone and 25,000 gold worth of diamonds, a woman.
1 second.
Mm-hmm.
She's our note keeper.
Yeah.
Okay.
A woman by the name of Agnes promised to create her a child, born of their blood, with no man involved. As part of that deal, another life would be created, reincarnated. This was the Baron Le Fay, who had no part in this contract. The Baron Le Fay, which is, I will now lore-splain to you, is the Archfey who led a violent revolution along with Queen Mab against King Borean in the land of the Cold Unending, in this world's version of the Feywild. She was a servant, a minor sorcerer lord in the olden days who was stabbed and betrayed by her colleagues and her servants after trying to bring equality to her area back in time immemorial. And then she fled to the forest, called out to Queen Mab. Queen Mab took her in. Queen Mab made her an archfey. Her and Queen Mab now rule the land of the Cold Unending together. She is known as the Lady of Winter. This Baron Le Fay was reincarnated as your sister to a woman named Morgan. On that fateful day, 22 years ago, on the stone table. As part of this contract. The power used was Fey power. The power of Queen Mab powered this contract. However, as payment to the hags, 1 life were to be forfeited. The last child that the O'Sheas had would be taken from them when she came of age to become and trained as a hag. Trilly O'Shea. The contract was written at the time before the war and before anything had happened. So the O'Sheas thought that this was going to be a great courtesy. Oh, we're at no risk of having any more children. We don't ever have to fulfill this end of the bargain. And they thought they got away scot-free. But here we are.
Contentious.
Adopt one that they don't care about.
Yeah.
Adopt Justice. Justice gets trained as a hag.
Maybe their consciousness finally got to him.
My power.
Or conscience, sorry, not consciousness. So, that is the 3 lives contract. Well, I can just exit out a whole scene that I had. 32. The DC was 25, but whatever.
I'll prep.
Oh, I didn't even
You
need
know
the...
what? Some of us
I
may
used
still
my
go
inspiration.
find JJ.
Yeah, you're fine.
So
You guys are
there
fine.
still may be more.
Yeah, I'm joking. You guys are fine. No. That is the 3 lives contract. You were created. You and Morgan are sisters. Trilly is to be taken by Agnes and become a hag very, very soon. She's about 9, so it's about time she can start being trained as a hag and as a witch.
Oh, man.
And just to remind Chase, the player, because Justice obviously has an iron trap for a memory.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of the very interesting lady in the moldy tree place with the
Grelda.
apple?
Grelda.
Okay, dang.
With the apples.
Yeah.
They'll give you
Okay.
your life back.
So,
So
the signature you did not recognize was
Agnes.
Agnes.
Fix that in my notes.
That's quite the revelation.
Yes.
Oh, Trilly.
I mean, we
So-
obviously can't let her be taken.
I don't know what choice we have.
They did sign a contract.
So can I roll history to see how terrible it is to be taken by the hags?
Roll history.
Or would
I'll
I
help-
know this?
I'll help you
Pro tip,
by
it's bad.
Yeah, you guys have a
assisting you
conversation
and,
about hags.
and
Go ahead and roll.
guidance. Guidance with the
Guidance.
D4.
Achilles like so hardcore.
Go for it.
It's my family, and me being made. So
Yeah, just keep laughing over there. 9.
so I know.
Double 3s.
Hags are bad, okay?
Hags are bad.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
bad.
Okay.
Actually, I hear that it's really good.
Because being a druid and having that nature connection with hags, as Grelda so inconspicuously pointed out last time,
Yes.
where, in this particular world, where do druids and hags connect, collide?
You're
So the
not
opposite
too
end.
sure. You know that being a hag is brought on by a very powerful ritual and transformation, and then it grants you special abilities.
Gilly, do you happen to know between the time someone is starting training with hags to the time that ritual occurs, how long is that?
Do I know?
You're not sure. You did take that course. The thing is, like, these are rituals that are incredibly secret, and the hags keep their secrets very well. What they lack in raw power, they make up for in incredible cunning and the ability to see into the future. You know that once the process is begun, it can't be stopped.
Okay.
Probably should have taken the 200 level class, really. After you went to
I
the
don't
first
think she explained to us that she
Hags
took the
101.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know quite when the ritual happens, but I know once it starts, there's no going back.
So your mother's agreed to this. They must know more.
Well, when my mother's agreed to this, well, they might know more, but when my mother's agreed to this, they didn't think they were going to have any more children, I don't think.
What happens if we just take Trilly with us to somewhere not here. She's enamored with Sevelius. She would do so willingly.
Sure.
As a last resort, think on it. There are places she can be kept away from those that would be looking for her. There are ways to hide a person,
I mean, we're talking
as
about
much as I know.
very powerful beings. Beings who could reincarnate and
Yes, but how many
Whatever.
of them did it take?
Hmm?
How many of them did it take?
I don't know. As far as I'm aware, it just took Agnes.
There were 6 signatures on there.
There were
Well,
no other hag signatures.
That's just agreements. It's not necessarily people who were actually taking part in anything.
We don't know. 100%.
Right.
So,
Fey magic is ancient indeed, but may not just be one hag. It may be the way the contracts work.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting that it's JJ's signature here. And
I mean, he's a
Didn't-
lawyer.
didn't you overhear JJ and Glitch talking on the train?
I did. To remind us, they were having a conversation about the 3 of us traveling with Sovelius and whether we would be useful assets going forward. And then, I don't think I told you this last time, but how much Glitch was enamored with you.
You did mention it,
Probably briefly.
but there was a lot going on.
It's a very interesting.
And with Glitch being in Morgan's inner circle, and her being your sister explains the fascination.
And the concern and attention she's been giving me. Yes, it does.
So, and then this contract says that Morgan is the reincarnated Baroness
She is the
Lefay.
same. Metaphysically speaking, she is the Baron Lefay given form in an Archfey given form and power into the material plane, which violates the arresting light.
I hadn't even gotten that far.
Yeah,
But that's a problem.
that was another thing I was going to ask.
However, she is not involved in this contract.
Right.
Her name is mentioned. She is not a participant.
Right.
Well, she
No,
didn't
but she's a
She's a
product.
victim, yeah.
She's a product.
Essentially.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
that's a good way
As
to put
am
it.
I.
So you would, of course, embody both your parents, but this explains how you come from the land of the unending with magic of Queen Mab and sister Baroness Lefay.
That quite probably means that I'm not legal to be here.
Well, that's a different conversation.
Well, most magic items require you to have some
Unless-
sort of legal document, which you clearly have.
I mean,
Unless
That
you
means
are
that-
also reincarnated Fae, I think
Technically,
you
they
should be
contract
alright.
would-
but if I'm not from this world, according to the arresting light, I shouldn't be allowed through
But
without dispensation.
we've already seen things come through the veil. Would you call it? What would you call it?
They're not supposed to,
Through the
veil.
boundaries of reality.
Well,
which
But-
they're not supposed to.
But those are breaking down for one reason or another. Let's
Breaking
hope
down
it's
'cause
not your
the-
parents'
I
fault.
would say let us
Most
not,
likely it's because of the void.
The void. Sure.
Tearing away at it.
Yes, but what gave the void the chink in the armor?
The void's always been there.
I would say that this has not been the legality. I think of your existence is probably the least of our worries.
Yours.
That's a
is-
fair
yes.
point.
Yeah.
Yes,
Maybe-
sure. Sure.
If we're
Yeah.
if we're speaking of
As long
your
as-
sibling,
Yeah.
Truly.
Trilly, would their parents be open to? Are there any monasteries or powerful magical practitioners whom she could be an understudy? It would be a cover story, and your family is rich. They have connections.
I mean,
Maybe they could
you
sit-
just sparred with one.
That seems
Indeed.
a little close to home, though.
And I don't know if she would be inclined to take on a protege.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how the contract works because even if even if we hide Trilly somewhere and they can't get to Trilly, there's still other children that I can get to.
It specifically says the youngest.
That's the last.
It does. That is also
Last child.
that is not the complete, like, you haven't gotten to the clauses, subclauses, fiduciary responsibility, common law, fey magic.
Wait, but
There's a whole
That's
Trilly
terrifying.
wasn't the last one adopted, right?
Yes, Trilly's the youngest.
Yeah, but youngest doesn't mean the last one adopted. We talked about adopted ages.
Right, it's your youngest child.
The youngest child
Yeah.
is okay.
And the last child.
Not the most recent.
Yeah.
Okay. Because otherwise it would be Corwin.
Right.
Can
Who's
you
already being trained.
could you approach your parents now that you have this information?
I could. Yeah, I could do that. They're probably still up. I could even see maybe we could all. I don't know how much they'd be willing to talk about things openly, but I could see.
So I would say, at least for your situation, we sleep on it. Speak with your parents in the morning, whether it's just you, all of us, both. These are sensitive things, family things. I mean, I can snare all our rooms if you really want me to.
No, that's okay. I don't feel like I'm in danger or anything. At least I'm not. I don't feel.
What time is it approximately?
Go Selena.
Being snary.
No, just like being very caring. What were you saying? What time is it? It's I don't know, 10:30.
Okay.
It's late. It's sleep. It's about time to sleep.
Okay. I didn't know if it was unreasonable that they're still up. Not.
Well,
That seems
I'm
like
the
a
only one
reasonable
that has
course
to
of
sleep
action.
for 8 hours. So this is all in my calling.
Oh, yeah. She's pretending to care, but instead she's like, "I'm tired. So a lot has happened today."
My God, why don't you people ever sleep?
Yeah, we're all just up like playing checkers and stuff while she's trying to sleep.
Good God.
What do you wish to do? Gilly, it's really your call, I think.
Well, we can call it a night and reconvene in the morning. But I'm going to at least. I don't know how I'm going to be able to just sit and do nothing about anything for 8 hours. So I'm going to at least go and see if me mom and me ma are awake.
Do the rest of us know she's not sleeping yet, or has she been hiding that from us?
Just figured it out, but I don't think the rest of you caught on.
I wouldn't have been hiding it.
Yeah, you've caught on actually, because you guys traveled all those days together and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not
I
sleeping.
I haven't been secretive about
Yeah,
the ring or like
she's
what
not,
I can
yeah.
do with it.
Right, she's not sleeping.
So. Okay. Well.
How's the view from the balcony?
It's nice. It's beautiful. It overlooks the grounds. You can see just past over the rolling hills, and there's a beautiful maze, garden maze, hedge maze. Mm-hmm. With yeah.
I will spend a couple hours overlooking and playing the violin.
You've left?
Yeah, I think we're all dispersing, right?
People
I'm
are
gonna
dispersing.
surreptitiously stay.
Okay.
Not bringing too much attention when you two leave.
In Sylvius' room.
Mhm.
Okay. You guys part. It's just you turn around and Selena's still there.
Don't you need to sleep?
Eventually. I think there's one more piece of business. Yeah.
Dragon wants some sensations.
Jesus, guys.
Terrible. I mean, I'm not better, but
He's pretty and all, guys, but
He is.
hold it together. My goodness.
Sorry.
Just because I'm the only one here that hasn't slept with anybody yet in this game.
I'm a robot.
Oh yeah, that's right, you're a robot. I forgot about that.
I don't
also
remember.
he didn't
sleeping
sleep with
anyone.
anybody either.
I just
He
got
I'm the
drunk.
only one who has.
He slept with himself.
Just leave.
Okay.
What?
She's drunk.
So a few things have been laid on the table. Do you plan to stick around and help Gilly however you can?
Yes, absolutely. If not just for Gilly, for Trilly's sake.
You're attached to her.
Wow.
She's adorable.
She is. She's a quick study, too.
That is to be admired. We've all been traveling together long enough that I definitely want to make sure you know what resources we have available to us.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of wake up my mantle.
Okay.
If I haven't told you, I traveled a number of years on my own between the war and coming back to this job. A number of years. Many of those years through Draska.
Interesting.
It's a very interesting land. Gorgeous. Terrible. It's Draska.
Yes.
But one of the many things that was found or found me is my mantle.
Interesting.
She is very resourceful. Saved your life at least once so far.
Really?
Pulled you out of a melting wall.
Oh yeah, that was a bit strange that you
Yeah.
could do that.
Wish I could take all the credit. Not. I don't know quite how to explain her. As far as I can tell, she is the sleeping goddess incarnate.
Interesting.
Do you know who that is?
I don't. Yes. I've heard many stories about that.
Yes. She's very powerful in her own right. She has her own agenda, which keeps me busy.
I mean, it's not. She's not evil, is she?
I think, like, dealing with the tower, it's really perspective on how people deal with the power itself. I mean, if you're familiar with the story, she sacrificed herself to save her people.
That is true.
I mean,
She has gotten a bad rap for it.
you know, and then on the flip side, you are the company you keep. However, I've not made up my mind. I trust her so far, though. She's saved us more than once.
Interesting.
I don't know if you're going to take me at my word, or she has your permission for identify if you want to.
Sure. I mean, your cloak is definitely lit up as magic whenever I've used detect magic. I just never knew what it was. So I'll spend the ritual.
10 minutes.
Identify 10 minutes or whatever.
11 minutes, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, as you place your hand on the cloak, you begin channeling the power of Identify. This cloak raises the wearer's charisma to 16.
Nice.
Oh, it doesn't give him interaction with Eurisidro? Okay. I thought it would. Sorry, my bad. I thought that was the whole point.
Seems to be a very powerful cloak, but
It is at Eurisidril, the slumbering goddess.
okay. So I can detect that there's something in there.
You do know that this is an artifact, and you know it's dormant currently, which might account for the fact it can't communicate outside of its wearer.
Got it. So it still seems to be dormant.
Mhm.
It's helping you.
Be a little
Be
more
more charismatic.
charismatic than normal.
Yes.
Her normal charisma is a 3. She rolled real bad. She was actually a horse before. That explains why she does so
Horse
well.
stuff.
Yeah, that's her natural form. All the hair penalties go away.
It's gonna be some weird fanfic.
Wonderful.
It's make Liz blush night. That's what this is.
Apparently,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely is. So I'm gonna hide behind my hair.
Mm-hmm.
Continue to have this conversation. So she is awakening. I know she has places she wishes to visit within the glide that I'm going to need help with.
All right.
Evidently talking about evil. She has identified some here that needs to be kept contained.
Yeah, as long as the cause is righteous and willing to help the general public and the people, then
I've promised to find. I have not promised to maim, murder, otherwise tear asunder. Just, I want to, like we did with Still Towers, see for ourselves if the evil is there. And if it is, be prepared to take care of it.
that makes sense.
But this evil is under the name Visora. If that means anything to you.
I even probably heard of that.
Sounds like a dragon.
Definitely sounds draconic.
It definitely is. Evidently, she's
What does
green.
Visora mean in draconic?
It means poisonous sky.
Oh,
It
fun.
means poisonous sky in draconic. I speak draconic, by the way.
I do not speak Draconic. I'm bringing all of my dragon names to you now.
Perfect.
You have become my dragon name keeper.
Wonderful.
But I don't want to bring this to Gilly because she's got so much to deal with. I'm sure at some point we will need to bring her in, but we need to take at least the next day and deal with her issues.
True. I do feel like the rest of the group should know in time. I mean, if we are to act as of a sort of unit, going back on military terms and whatnot, cohesive.
Absolutely.
We should all be on the same level of communication.
If any of us have contracts, absolutely.
Correct.
Gilly's blue. I have a cloak. Justice is Warforged. God knows.
That's racist.
and
Wow.
You technically have a contract.
Wow, you don't know that.
No. But
Racist.
all Warforged had contracts at one point. I don't know that you've bought yours out. You've not told
That's
us
true.
that.
That's true.
that is-
Literally, there's no such thing as a conscriptless warforged that isn't until you're born with one,
I'm afraid.
which isn't
Yeah,
which is your entire
don't go
backstory.
pointing
by the way.
fingers and saying racist.
I thought she was talking about the contract that have otherwise.
No.
No.
I'm playing on
Literally
character
your
knowledge.
conscription.
Literally Warforged.
All
I'm
right.
just giving you a hard time.
Man, you are hot on that trigger with the.
She
But yeah, we should
Which
figure out Gilly's stuff.
brings me to my last point when I was eavesdropping on Glitch and JJ. They said you had been visited by their own faction.
I mean, I've been visited a couple times by the Heathens Collective and whoever they associate with. I'm an elven prince. Other elves are fascinated with me.
Yes, but this was specifically secretly after we were all keeping watch on you specifically because that was our job for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So someone slipped past us and none of us are slouches at this thing, otherwise we never would have been hired.
We did a really shitty job.
Surprised they paid you.
You paid us technically.
Technically.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, I get what I pay for. There was. So, I'm sure you're familiar with. Do they know about Beverly?
So we've met Beverly. We've all met Beverly.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you've
At the
not
party.
told us that Beverly has visited you.
yeah. So I believe he was referring to Beverly, who did visit me.
Okay.
But he's ever since the party seemed to have an unnatural. I can't think of the word.
Ability to
Interest
come and go? Or...
in me.
Okay. So just as a word of caution, if you haven't figured it out, Beverly is, if he's not the one, he or she, do we know what gender Beverly is yet?
He's effeminate, but he
Okay.
goes by he. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
He's the one calling the shots. I don't know if there's anyone above him, but the way they spoke, even though that was a private conversation, they were not using Beverly's name. So if that's who they're referring to, he's pulling the strings of Morgan and Glitch and JJ and the Heathens Collective.
Interesting. He did not. I didn't get the impression that he was during our conversations. But if he visits me again, or if we come across his path, we can definitely question him on it.
I'm
Find
sure
out
we'll
more
see
information.
him again. Because our laundry list of things to do in the Glide keeps
I
getting
know.
bigger. Because we have to figure out
Side
where
quests.
to figure out where the Son of Storms fits into all of this as well.
Yes, that's a whole nother mess.
Unless they're specifically mixed in with the Heathens Collective, and then it kind of ties a nice little bow around everything.
Correct. We shall see.
We shall.
First things first. There's urgent matters to attend to. And
There
whatnot.
are. Thank you for the extra time. I just, and I know you guys have probably guessed, but I wanted to make sure you guys knew that I didn't have any potentially evil things happening in my background. Just kind of come clean.
You seem to be on the up and up so far. So,
So. Have a good night.
you too.
You part the room. You are going down to talk to your mom, and you're just playing violin on the balcony.
Correct.
She leaves. And the door shuts.
Hmm.
You start your nightly routine,
Yep.
and you see, you're looking out briefly in the balcony, beautiful starry night. The mist is parted, and the stars are, there's a huge, it's like standing on a professional backdrop. The stars are big and beautiful, and they're close. And just over the hedge garden, you see a star kind of
Slam my window
twinkle
shut.
brightly at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll cycle.
Okay.
It's still playing.
Yeah,
Is it?
it's just some tracks are quieter, but yeah.
I
it's-
just
Do we
wanted to
know
make
how
sure
our
that's all.
music is
Sorry.
playing on the stream? Not to
It's
be
been good.
distracted.
That no one's mentioned anything.
Perfect.
Yeah, Wizardtorium is playing now. It's not very loud. It's fine.
Okay.
So you see a twinkle, and it's kind of like
Take it.
glowing at you, almost beckoning you. It seems to be located above the near the hedge maze,
Interesting.
like in there somewhere.
Does it seem like it obviously isn't a star?
It looks like it's like you would blink and miss it. You would think it's just a part of the backdrop of the starry night sky, but now it's like blinking at you, and it's signaling something. And you're like, it's like an old war memory, the way you used to communicate across distances.
Does it have Morse code?
Yeah,
I see.
like through near flashing basically.
Can I pick up what it's saying?
So Velius.
Okay.
It's me.
Got it. Do I have a mirror or something?
Yeah.
Or actually, I could
Yeah,
probably
of
use
course.
prestidigitation or something to create.
Of course he has a mirror.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, like a mirror I can bring to the window.
You do.
Not
You
like
have,
a
you have
floor-to-ceiling.
a silver like hand mirror.
Okay.
Yeah.
There would also
Keep in
be
your
one
pocket
in
with
the
your
vanity
comb.
in your room.
Correct. And in my coat pocket, and the other one in my traveling pack.
No, I mean like there would be a handheld van on the van. No, it's fine.
So I'll flashback. How do I want to respond?
No nipples on Twitch.
I just want a long rest, guys.
Beverly.
Yes. I gathered that. I guess I'll head out there, honestly.
That's
Yeah.
what he's like. Come here.
So Venus is not here. Please leave a
A
message.
message after the beep.
So how do you go towards the hedge garden?
Well, Justice is out on the balcony,
He is. You see that. You can hear him playing.
but it's not uncommon that I would go out for like strolls at night.
Right.
Like I don't sleep.
Incredibly,
so I'm just
incredibly common actually.
yeah. I'm gonna go out for a stroll in the garden and just wander in that direction.
Alrighty. You you jump down from the balcony, feather fall, whatever. However you glide down there.
Yeah.
And you
I'll walk out past just as I'm going for a walk, and I just step off the balcony and then like land.
As he does. Not even.
Yeah, but first your foot goes into a snare. I'm kidding.
I thought about it before I went to bed, guys. I thought about it.
You enter the hedge maze, make your way
Okay.
through. It's not really a proper maze. It's like you can literally.
It's an easy.
It takes you an
I
extra
cut my
minute.
way through it easy.
Fireball. And you see that in this maze, there are still these magic armors that guard but they are built like a minotaur. So they're minotaur armor, animated armors they sit watch. Whenever you enter, they go.
What color are they?
Silver.
There you go.
I didn't really have any strong opinion. And they look at you, and their eyes glow red for a second, and they go back to being dormant. You pass on through. You come to the clearing. You come to this like little clearing within the maze, and there's like little tables and like a little fireplace. Like this seems to be like the little kind of kids' hideout or whatever. And Beverly is sitting there on a wire chair. He's got his legs crossed, and he's just.
It's a beautiful night.
It is. It's a mighty fine evening to see, my liege.
Mm-hmm.
How are you on this lovely evening?
Doing well. Definitely an eventful evening, nonetheless. But evening.
Eventful how?
Some new information has come to light about.
I do
Other
love
people.
a good gossip. Why don't you tell me?
Oh, I'm sure you're fully aware of all of this.
I am not. Sibelius Anastasia, you are a polecat. I am aware of no such thing. This is the most dangerous man any of you have ever met.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
Okay. So I assume you're familiar with JJ?
I am. He and I have been associates for some time. He's a good elf.
And familiar with Morgan?
I told you that she was affiliated with our movement.
Mm-hmm. And what is the movement that you're referring to?
The Heathens Collective.
Okay.
Sibelius, have I not... You seem so cross with me. Have I not been
It's not.
forward?
You've been quite forward. I just feel like I'm getting not necessarily half-truths, but not all of the information I need.
I am sorry. Due to your dormant status for so many years, we've been careful on how to approach you.
And that's understood.
Randomly loud ass music.
Well, hopefully it's not ass music.
That's a trumpet.
Well, I am here for that very fact. We want to bring you more into the fold. We want to include more of you, not less. We don't want to keep you in the shadows any longer.
All right. So we know about the contract with Gilly and about all of that.
So it'll only catch up their noise. It won't actually show their faces because it won't see the widescreen.
What Morgan's interest in Gilly is, as well as how that will all play out, is yet to be seen, I guess. But how that's all connected to you or the Heathens Collective or
I will be
anything like that, we still don't fully understand.
I will be quite frank with you. I do not have notable involvement in that particular contract. A woman approached us, this Agnes, who we later realized was a hag through and through, came to us and said that she could bring a powerful ally to our cause, but that she needed a lawyer to negotiate the contract. JJ had just come to our movement. This was 22 years ago, and we found him some honest work. He negotiated the contract. He gave them fair terms, more than fair. He even gave them an out. But the war hit, and they had it looked poor upon them to have such a large manor and such a lovely estate and only have one child. They eventually had to give in to social pressure. And I imagine they just assumed they would just keep adopting. And they did, and they did, and they did. Years went by, and no word ever came. I don't know more than that. I know that the O'Sheas didn't mean to hurt nobody, but they were taken for a ride. Not so much by JJ. He was fair to him, I think. More so by this Agnes.
And I assume the out he put in was them not being able to have children.
Yeah. Back then, there was no surplus orphan population. The Great War had not hit.
Would we be able to have a meeting with JJ to
His
review
law
the
offices
contract
are
and see?
in Mothios. Go see him. He would love to see you, Sylvius. He gave you his card.
I know. May have lost it.
Oh, well, it's a simple business card. I'm sure
Uh-huh.
he can offer you a new one.
Yes. He was listening. We know about the card. And him listening through the card to us.
What do you mean?
It was a listening device.
My goodness, he is a horse thief.
He's a lawyer.
Fair point. Well, I'm sorry that this business is ugly, but these are difficult times.
True, and that's understandable.
Now, I would never presume to tell you what to do, but it strikes me that you may need some counsel in these matters. You've been...
Correct.
Yeah. So, what we have here, Sylvilius, in our little game that we play, in this so-called revolution,
Mm-hmm.
is an opportunity. Gilly and the O'Sheas are very powerful.
They are.
Mafanwe O'Shea can do things with magic that few are capable of.
So I have heard.
So, I don't know how much you know about these contracts, but the fiduciary Sylvan clauses only apply to signatories. And if something would happen to poor little old Agnes, there'd be no one to make Miss Trilly O'Shea a hag, now the word there.
Interesting.
Now, I once asked you if there's anyone you would like to be killed. I'm not offering that. You could, and I would do my best. And if it's as a favor to you, you would owe me, you would owe me nothing.
Mm-hmm.
However, if Gilly would like to enlist my services in helping her, I don't know if I could find Agnes. She is concealed by powerful magics guarded
The
by
hags
her.
are good at hiding.
But you will need to kill all 3 hags in order to prevent Trilly O'Shea's transformation.
Alright.
Destroy the coven, and there'll be no issue.
Interesting.
So, if Gilly would like help, bring her to me. I would gladly offer her for a favor in kind. You need to be building allies, Sylvilius.
Correct.
By offering them services they want, in kind and in turn, as fair feather friends do.
Indeed. Thank you.
You are welcome.
He did give me, I do have his calling card, so I can get to him again. Or contact him.
You can,
Okay.
yeah.
Perfect.
Do you have any other questions for me?
No? You've been very forward and extremely helpful. As always, it seems.
You are welcome. Now, careful with these hags. And as far as Morgan, she is difficult to work with, but she has helped our cause. And I
She
believe
seems nice enough.
perhaps Gilly could speak with her. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I think that was part of the plan as well. That we talked to her.
Does that help you now?
It
Has
does.
this clarified some things for you?
Yes.
Then have a nice night, Sylvilius.
You as well.
With a
Now-
shimmer.
Continue my walk through the garden.
Yeah.
Not take too long to get back, but long enough.
Present hall pass.
So we have our first live Snapchat. It's in the world.
Yay!
Okay.
Oh my god.
I feel like that was the DM like dropping some solid hints for
Oh, yeah, no,
For sure.
I don't think that happened at all.
subtlety.
It was, of course it was, that's the whole point, but it's
Good job.
also someone with their own motivations making a play for some serious clout.
Yep.
Alright. Great. Also. Wonderful.
Alright.
Alright.
So,
Oh.
what, you guys, the night passes uneventful? Oh no, you're going to talk to your parents.
Uh-huh.
Alrighty.
Am
Man.
I gonna get to take a long rest so I can deal with this?
Yeah,
with
you can do
guys?
your
Yeah,
extended
Oh,
rest.
perfect.
Yeah, I'm not jumping anyone.
Thank you.
The snare.
You're
Yes!
taking the final rest.
The longest rest.
So now they are basically, going up to bed, and you catch them going to bed. They're, yeah,
Is it too late to have a
come in.
chat?
Come in. And they usher you into the master bedroom, and you guys sit in the little sitting area.
I think I know enough to have that conversation. I don't know if you want to have it now.
Tell me what you know. Hold
That's
on.
what I did last week.
Tell me what you know.
One life created was mine. Life reincarnated was Morgan's, the Baron Le Fay. And the life owed, as of now, is Trilly. I got the gist of it, right?
Yes. We didn't know.
I know you didn't know. I'm not.
There was
There's no way you could have known.
it was when the war hit. It was nothing like anyone had ever seen. I mean, the orphanages were never perfect, but there were children on the street. They were sleeping. When we found Philomena and the rest, they were nothing, and the church wasn't helping.
Could Ronan have not adopted them and you just cared for them in his stead?
It became. We just thought. I don't know. We just thought Agnes, you had to be there. When we talked to her, it was just different. It was like we thought they were giving us an out, and we didn't think they would call upon the clause of that contract. We just thought it wouldn't be like this, and we can't just. We are nobles. We had to.
No, I understand. You had to help where you could.
The original plan was that we just kept adopting, but it became too much. We got complacent. We got distracted.
When are they going to come for Gilly? Or for Trilly?
They're going to come very soon. She's, as far as the hags are concerned, she's ready. We can't tell you what to do from here. Only to tell you that we are bound not to act. There's a fiduciary. I'm doing freaking Russian. There's a fiduciary responsibility in these kind of contracts, and we can't. Anyone who's a signatory of the contract, who acts against another member of the contract or interferes in any way, their soul is forfeit. So I can't tell you what to do.
Very Percy. What? But you can't be held accountable if someone else were to act.
Of course not. As long as we've given no counsel, assistance, or guidance.
I probably shouldn't ask you. Well, I could ask you questions, but you couldn't answer them. But
We should be very careful.
right, so I shouldn't.
It didn't seem so bad when we did it. It was 25,000 gold worth of diamonds, my transmuter stone, which I worked my life to make. It seemed fair. The other part of the contract we never thought would come around. And when I went to the stone table in Faluglan Loch, and I saw you there, your skin was blue, but they told me that would fade with time. And it did.
Well, yes and no.
I saw that it was back. I don't know quite why that's happening, but it can be controlled. I'll teach you, okay?
That would be good. So, Morgan, then. You can't.
I don't know, to be honest.
Okay.
I just assumed she was involved. But she...
As far as I can tell, she's not part of the actual contract, right?
I'm not. She wasn't there. She wasn't born yet.
No more as I am. No more than I am, I mean.
She's just our... She's just our eldest daughter, apparently.
She's older than me.
She's
Well,
thousands
of
of...
course, Agnes would make her first.
Well, she's thousands of years
Well,
old.
I know, but I mean this reincarnation.
Yes. No, she was first there. I'm so sorry, Gilly. But maybe not. No, sorry. So when I say that, I mean that she's thousands of years old, metaphysically speaking.
Of course. Like, I understand that part. It's all a bit of... that's
You can ask
all
Agnes.
crazy.
Who's older?
Where can I find Agnes?
I don't know. And I don't think I can tell you.
I'm sure I could find out if I talked to Morgan. Are you... So is this upsetness that you have with Morgan, is this about Trilly then?
I think I'm more upset with myself than anything. She reminds me of what I did. This was before...
It was before the war. It was before you thought you were going to have more than just me.
And it was before we had to produce a legitimate heir. They had just granted gay couples the right to marry in Gishari. We had to produce a legitimate heir, otherwise our house was going to fall. There was a lot of pressure on us.
I understand. You were in a tight spot. And you thought you had an out. You couldn't have known. I mean, I understand. But, so I'm from the cold unending then.
You are our child. That much is clear in the contract, but the mystical energies used to create you are from the cold unending. You are of two worlds. You are a singularly unique creature in that regard. As far as I know. Morgan comes close.
What does that mean for me?
No one can answer that, Gilly. The dimensions that are upheld, the boundaries of reality that are upheld by the unresting light, barely anyone's ever been outside of Edda since for 2,000 years.
Could you get in trouble if different authorities found out that...
No. Gilly,
No.
It's a legal contract. Rendell Halfmoon signed off on all this.
Okay.
This is you're a legal codified citizen. I'm not saying laws can change, authoritarian movements take place, but you are a legally qualified citizen of Adelaide. And the contract we entered into is legally binding.
Okay.
But I mean, I wouldn't go around telling people.
Of course not. Okay. So, I guess I don't know much more. You don't know enough about Morgan then. Do you think, I still have to catch you up on everything else that's been going on, because this has been quite a lot, but, Ma, I'm sure you're busy, but maybe, Mom, you could talk with me and the rest of the group tomorrow.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Sure, if you think it's warranted.
I think I'd like that. I think it would be helpful. I'll let you get some rest then.
All right.
So they should adopt a Gishari child.
Oh man.
Eventually, you just have to man up to the deal you made.
Well, no, I was just saying stop there.
So, the night passes uneventfully, so called.
Right,
you guys
yeah.
all wake the next morning. And the next morning comes, and most of you are still awake. So, what do you wish to do?
How long does it take for Sibelius to show up?
Oh, to breakfast?
Yeah.
Should I take a bath Sibelius style, roll a d4,
2 hours.
see how long it takes?
When you exit your room 2 hours late, Trilly's waiting there for you. Hi,
Hello. How are you today?
I'm really good. It's nice.
It is. Come, let's walk to breakfast.
She holds out her hand.
I take it.
You know, I think our lessons should come to an end. They're not going to be needed much longer.
I'm a very bad person. So, you guys arrive at breakfast.
She's
It's-
with us. The
Truly.
hags can't take her. The hags show up, will kill them.
Oh man.
We can try.
Oh man.
breakfast. About halfway through breakfast, Faylene just kind of looks at Gilly. She's like, I have some business to attend to. She leaves. And it's just Mifanwe, the Lady of the Meadows. The children have been excused. Trilly is... Master Pluth drags Trilly away, kicking and screaming.
It's Master Pluth. He's the hag. Get him.
Making no sense whatsoever.
They're masters of disguise.
He's 12 mid-juleps in.
You guys are sitting there with...
That's what took him 2 hours.
You're at breakfast with Mifanwe O'Shea, the Lady of the Meadows.
So I thought that it might be nice to have or helpful to have a bit of a frank conversation about what's been going on and what we've all been learning and who we've been talking to and all of that without Mima present, because I'm sure information about certain dealings that we've been having will come up that she shouldn't know about.
Okay, player clarification. The one that we're talking to is not the one that's...
This is the wizard.
This is the wizard with the amulet and all of the monk
Right.
dealings, tower spire thing.
She's a scholar esoteric of the Tranquil Chamber.
Thank you. This is not the one...
This is
Not the
this is
one
not the
who is
seated
the
person.
Baroness.
Yeah.
Right.
Got it.
Not the Baroness.
Perfect.
So, who wants to start? Should I start? How do we do this? What?
So, through study and some other information last night, I looked more into the contract and spoke with one of my closer contacts that we can talk about later.
Okay.
That these contracts, well, they may be airtight on paper. If the hags are not around to seal the deal or collect upon it, then there is no danger.
Okay.
So, if we eliminate said hags, it should hopefully save Trilly.
I should just make a mention real quick that my mom, because she's part of the contract, can't really advise us on certain
Correct.
actions.
And I'm not looking
Okay.
for her to advise us at all, due to that.
Sure. So further conversation
But
about
that
that
may
should
be-
probably be...
Correct. But that may be a solution to our problems.
It's simple. We just kill 3 very powerful hags.
Well,
What kills a hag?
I don't know, but maybe we should do some research later
Yes.
and have a conversation about this with someone not my mom. But one of the things we can talk about is how everything might be connected, and also, yeah.
Random question before I forget. You have this lovely weaponry all across your halls. Is there a person in town that can make such fine weapons, especially magical ones?
Silver scrapes.
Are they trustworthy?
They made some of the stuff you see, the more silver ornaments. A lot of this Faylene brought in from the war. We bought on auction, and I enchanted it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Because I have a blade that might need repaired.
Okay.
So I just wondered if there was anyone in town that could do so.
Hmm.
Sorry. I promise it makes sense to everyone else. So just before I forgot.
I'm happy to help.
I mean, it wouldn't be unprudent to let my mom have a look at that if you're curious about it.
So
We could talk about how we got it.
it's part of our adventures, and I pull out a small bag from one of the many pockets in my cloak and robes, because I'm a creep, and take off some wood shavings off of it that have gotten into that particular pocket. Kind of jingle it together and sit it down. Be careful. I don't know anything about this because we've done nothing with it except put it in a bag.
So,
It looks infernal.
yeah, so one of the things that we had been up to that I wanted to talk to you about without Ma present. What have you heard about the whole Cragmandu area lately?
I heard there was some
The
sort
greater
of
area of Narshik.
void eruption. I heard that Lord Stilltower was buried shortly after. The Grand Duke of Midrim was assassinated by some elf. And from his corpse, a void creature erupted and spread terror all across the land. And it has everyone flummoxed. And now the Circle of Red and Gold and...
Yeah, so we were there for all of those things.
We had pretty much
Except for the burial, but, you know, we were sort of the cause for Stilltower.
You killed Lord Stilltower?
It was necessary.
He gave us no choice.
It was
He
sanctioned.
attacked us. But, also we were in a bit of a spot we sort of were.
He was in the process of murdering his entire town.
Oh.
The town was in some bad shape, and through a few other courses, we were sort of coerced through the confessory.
Well, I'm not sure what you want me to say about all that. I'm not stupid. I assumed and inferred from your letter that you had been up to more than certain incidents.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
I'm not sure that she needs you to do anything about any of this. It's all past. And excuse me if I speak out of turn, but I think she just wants you to know what she has been doing, and what she has been doing is good. It may not be politically aspiring. However, she, even though we could not save her from being blue and missing part of her hand, she has saved us multiple times, each of the three of us, and others that have traveled with us.
And I'm very proud of you for that.
I'm more trying to make some sense of it all. I don't understand how these things how Stilltower was allowed to be how he was and do such terrible things to that town without any intervention, anyone there to help those townsfolk. I spoke to one of the members there who's very prominent in that town, and she reached out multiple times. She went before the Presidium and she got no help. And I don't understand how that happens. And now with the Lanags, I don't understand how this world works. How it fails to work the way that it's supposed to work.
I think that, Gilly, you're old enough to hear that once you stop thinking of the system as being broken, once you start to think of a system working as intended, the way the country is becomes a whole lot clearer.
This is normal for the Gish.
The whole country was founded on death and oppression and slavery. I don't know why you should expect anything more from them.
You brought her up in a world that didn't have it here in the Glide. In your household,
I did my best.
you took in orphans.
I did my best. I'm sorry I didn't prepare you more, but it gets exhausting.
I
All
can
this-
understand that, sure. Something should be done about it, and I don't know what to do.
I don't know either, Gilly.
I mean, there are certain organizations that do see a path forward. Revolutionaries, so to speak.
Are you speaking of who I think you're speaking of?
Yes. The collective. They're labeled as terrorists by the
Seems-
Gish.
I mean, that's a bit... It seems a bit drastic, but then again, I suppose I don't really know much of the world, so... I don't know what to make of any of it anymore.
While we're talking revolutionaries, what's your perspective on the heathen and the son of storms in your backyard?
Not so sure that the Son of Storms is as reasonable or as approachable as the Heathens Collective, but then again, I'm a noble born in a very rich family, sent to all the best schools, so I have some blind spots. I think that the Heathens Collective was in some measure involved in Gilly's creation. JJ was fair to us. I'm just not so sure I have the revolutionary spirit that they do. Look, I mean, we're talking about taking on flesh and something that passes for blood, wizards and mages and archmages with enormous power, and they will destroy you if you try to overthrow the Republic.
It's a slow process.
It's
but
been
if you
tried.
sit and do nothing.
I've managed to avoid at least one of their attempts throughout the years.
I would appreciate it if this conversation took a shift away from things that might jeopardize the future of my family, and if we focus on things that are also jeopardizing the future of my family. But something I can do something something that you lot can do something about right now. But I hear your concerns, and
I
perhaps
just wanted your opinion, nothing more. Gilly would do anything to protect her family. I don't see why that motivation would be any different for the rest of us that travel with her.
I appreciate that. But there's
So, we will do what we can for Trilly, and whatever that looks like. And I at least for one, will continue to watch the back of your eldest daughter.
Or at least me.
Have you guys
Yes, I'm
told-
sure that Morgan would appreciate your protection.
All the
Oh.
conversations about the contract and everything, what I found out was group knowledge.
Oh, the
I'm still
Morgan
aside from
thing?
that. Like,
What?
we've been
Apart from-
Just
referring.
making
yeah.
sure.
I mean, we've been referring to Gilly as the eldest daughter for a while, so it's just.
Yeah,
fair.
we're just
the
making
But now I
eldest
kn-
O'Shea.
That was
it's
before
just a
I
joke. Yeah.
before I didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That was before I knew that I'm not
So-
exactly the eldest.
Do you have any powerful allies that could help shield Trilly if we do not know the location of these three hags?
She can't talk about it.
She
You-
can't offer help.
She can't. You can't. We can't have this conversation with her.
I'm sorry that we're having a fruitless conversation then. I thought that we were trying to find solutions.
Perhaps I could. This is my point where I could leave you to your own devices.
That's fair.
If you need, I'll be in my house if you need something.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
And, Heathens Collective. If you
They're resourceful.
bring one by, I can talk to him. Maybe we'll talk later. She leaves.
Oh, Mom.
Yeah,
What do I need to do about this ring?
that's up to you, Kelly. She leaves.
Okay.
I'm sorry if I was being blunt. I thought that we were here to speak strategy. If we could not discuss the matters with your mother present or with her, I must have been mistaken.
Were you expecting something different out of that conversation?
No, just at least to get her perspective on JJ and the Heathens Collective and all of that. Figured instead of me having a conversation with her and then talking to you all about it, we could streamline things a bit, that's all. So, And also, try to get her sense on some of the things that we've been dealing with.
This glide is much more eventful than I imagined it would be. Thought it was a sleepy little backwater with some fog around some mountains.
Oh, well. Looks can be deceiving. Apparently.
So, now that we can talk freely,
Yes.
I've been in contact with Beverly, who belongs to the Heathens Collective and is known to JJ, which is my information source. During that time, I had a conversation with him last night, and he offered me insight on the hags and how to break the contract, as well as he wanted to talk to you if you wanted to enlist his help in the matter. Since he is not a signatory on the contract, he will be able to directly help us, and maybe assist us in maybe locating one of the hags, or at least pointing us into the right direction.
What sort of a price would that assistance be? Would come with?
I do not know. But it does not hurt to talk.
Do you trust Beverly?
I do.
Do you trust Beverly insofar as to do you trust him not to go after my family?
Yes. I do not believe he harbors any ill will towards your family whatsoever.
Even though we're prominent in the whole Presidium and governmental body of the country which he's trying to revolt against?
So,
Or is it just the Gish that he's worried about?
It's mainly the Gish.
Okay.
as long as you guys have distanced yourself from the Lanigs and their particular dealings with the Goliaths, and with you being so near and dear to so many of the prominent individuals in the
Suppose
Heathens
that's
Collective,
fair.
that would be, provided you cooperate with the Heathens Collective, they would have no reason to harm your family.
I mean, I myself participated in the government and helped them out and cooperated with them. Not because I necessarily wanted to or I thought it was right, because it was necessary for my continued survival.
I just don't understand how we can't be fixing these things from the inside.
Because as you've seen the way the world works now, there is no fixing it. It's not broken.
What about reconstructing from the inside?
The powers
If we're
that
going to
be
look at it as
has
something that's not
no-
broken,
How do
maybe
you
something we can
But the
change.
powers that be have nothing to gain by reconstruction.
How do you reconstruct a house? What's the first thing you do?
Burn it down.
Correct.
Well then, that's
That's extreme. You don't necessarily have to burn the house down. It's not a bad structure, but you gut the house. Walls, flooring, appliances, furniture.
What's an appliance?
With
you.
your cousin.
You know those
Kidding.
magical things that cook toast.
Toasters.
Magic toasters.
I need to find a brave little toaster in this world.
You do.
I do.
Animate object.
Yeah.
So again,
Tiny servant,
But-
too.
Tiny servant.
How do you reconstruct a
Sure.
house?
right.
I won't say that there aren't toxic elements within the Presidium, because my family's been fighting against that, from what I can understand, for a long time.
Mhm.
Then your family's probably safe.
I might recommend bringing this back around to, again, immediate concern. I agree that there are many injustices in this world. However, I think we have an access to the Heathens Collective. We have a young girl to protect. Maybe we should focus on the immediate.
I don't know how we can kill a
Absolutely
hag,
agree.
let alone, you said 3?
Yes, we would have to eliminate the entire coven.
Well, Morgan might have some kind of vested interest, seeing as she is your sister and is the reincarnated.
Morgan's mother, not mother, but Morgan's allied with Agnes.
Do you know that?
She is the reincarnation of the Baron Le Fay. The
Yes.
Baron Le Fay.
But she's already got what she wanted out of the contract.
Agnes?
No.
Morgan.
Morgan wasn't part of the contract.
I mean, Morgan was
had nothing to
created
do
by
with
the
it.
contract.
Morgan is only created through the contract.
Correct.
My point is that before she was even needed to be reincarnated, the Baron Le Fay and Agnes were allies, right?
Agnes would have worshipped the Baron Le Fay in terms of like a rank and structure. She's an archfey. The hag is below her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're not on
I
the,
misunderstood.
they're
Not on
not
the
playing
same-
the same game.
Okay.
No, not
okay.
at all.
So
One's
maybe-
a cosmic scale thing. The other's
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you would be more worried if we were going up against specifically something Queen Mab stood against.
Right. Okay,
We're
okay,
not.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
You can also
Well,
just go talk to Morgan to clarify these
we
things.
can.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's more like if they're allied, we don't want to tip her hand. But I don't think they're allied.
I think we have a number of courses of action. We definitely need to speak with Morgan away from your mothers. Speak with Beverly and potentially get him in one form or another in front of your mother. Because she has resources that we do not.
Sure.
I
Not
think
I mean-
bringing Beverly in front of her mother would be a future thing that we'd want to do.
So her mother just requested that if she could get in front of anyone from the Heathens Collective.
Down the road.
Down the road.
Oh, down the road. Never mind. Scratch that off the short list.
Yeah,
put it
we
back
need
on the
to
long
take
list.
care of the hags first.
Okay.
And if we need a
Hags first,
safe
fixing
place for
country.
Trilly, you met friends at the tavern.
Would they be able to protect her?
They would be able to hide her temporarily. They would be able to hide her temporarily and keep her moving so as not to be found within the glide, so that and set up communication that hopefully wouldn't be terribly easy to break, so that we could reclaim Trilly without, anything terrible happening. But I trust that they are powerful enough to be a second layer of protection should we fail.
So, as you guys sit here with now the relevant cards and players more active on the table, and you begin to formulate your plan on how to save Trilly from being transformed into a wretched creature, Mais's words, we are going to go ahead and take a break.
Woo! 8:53.
Hi, chat! We'll say
let's
hi to
see-
chat real
Let's
quick.
see what's going on in the chat.
Spam and stuff.
This is
Carl claiming the glory for killing Lord Stilltower.
Show up and claim it.
Yeah, Carl.
Somebody posting a bunch of Lorem Ipsum.
Our favorite poster.
Good God.
What's his face?
We need to
Lisa's
revive chat. You need
Why is
you need
he-
300
Just
gold worth of
speaking
diamonds to
Latin.
cast Revivify, so
What is it? I need to,
Sorry, I'm gonna just start from the band.
That's okay.
He's posting the song that's in Fallout 76 or Vegas. Yeah.
Put my glasses on so I can actually read this, huh?
I've got a competing stream where you can watch me take dumps on the South Park game. It's Forever Country landed. That's fine.
Oh my goodness.
how are you guys doing?
Yeah,
really
the
wanna-
chat seems to be very lively.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys tuning in.
Yeah. Thank you.
Take me home. There's some
Yes.
shit posting though.
Really, I didn't notice any shit posting. Really?
Some says Wonkoi one on.
That's Liz.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. I didn't know that.
Oh boy.
Wonderful. Yeah,
All right.
break time.
We will be back in a little bit.
Oh boy.